But first, a quick ad break from our sponsors.
Verizon.
Hello and welcome to Achievement Hunting 101. I'm Fufu Cuddly Poof, and this is level 217. Joining me tonight is Maychart.
Hello.
Big L.
Hello.
And Kushboos.
Hello.
All right, so I'll just go ahead and get this over with. Last week, yes, Fufu did have the flu, and if you cannot
Sure
tell
did.
my voice, yet, I'm still recovering from that. My voice is halfway shot. It's better than what it was doing. So if you hear any like cough drop sounds or random coughs I miss while editing, apologies in advance.
Yeah, we're dressing the frog in the room that is lodged in your throat.
Oh man, it's bad right now. Like, at least now I don't have like wincing pain when I swallow like my tea, but yeah, so like there's some improvements.
All right. Is it Old
Next
Bay
week we
tea?
should be good.
Would you say that's your cup of tea?
Ah.
Okay, Old Bay tea sounds awful, and no, this is just some honey in some black tea.
Now, what if it's caramel Old Bay tea?
Caramel or chamomile?
Caramel.
Both don't sound that good,
There's a new spice mix that the
but I'm not really a caramel fan.
I don't know anyone that is not a caramel fan. That's weird, but okay. I should say I've never met anyone that had something against caramel.
I don't have anything against it. I just don't ever like choose it. Brooke does. She loves the caramel coffees.
Okay.
I'm actually on your side on this one, Kenny. Like, I'll choose hot fudge over caramel any day on my ice cream.
100%.
Oh, I'm not in agreement with that at all.
All right, I don't hear anybody else disagreeing, so we can continue.
Yeah. All right. But yeah.
Team chocolate!
Chocolate's always better than caramel. All right. Let's get into our topic of discussion this week, but it's more like a question that came from erutaerc. Yeah, I know I said your name wrong.
That's perfect.
But he
exactly
asked,
right.
It's even harder to like enunciate things right now. So if we have like 100 game editions in the Game Pass from all these Japanese like RPGs, I am in a world of trouble.
God, I gotta make up something.
I already can't pronounce half of this.
I'll be right back.
Yeah. The question for this week is: if your gamer tag was an achievement title, what would you have to do to unlock it? That's an amazing question. This one's going to be fun. Let's start with L.
Oh man. Well, thank you to erutaerc for asking this. He came up with this, and I just let him have it. He answered. He asked the question. He didn't tell people to at podcast, so I had to do manual labor. But it was fine. It was a good job. Thug right away says, "You figure it out and get pissed off in the process," and I have no idea what that means, but I think that's the point.
Have you ever tried to read his gamer tag?
I have, but I mean, you're saying at first glance you don't know what it means?
Don't you recall? Thug always posts to the Discord like, "Hey, why doesn't this, or how do I do the?" And then he gets it right after he posts it. So I think it's probably related to that.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Like he gets so mad that he has to post in the Discord about it, and then he figures it out. Or
That makes
pops
sense.
right after that.
That's funny. Yeah, you're right.
And Retstack, aka Catster, said, "Spell something backwards," which of course is funny because erutaerc is creature spelled backwards, and Retstack is Catster spelled backwards. So they are soulmates, I guess.
You would have to play a bunch of Palgi games or something like that.
Oh man, that's a good idea. Retro Chief.
That actually sounds like an achievement. I don't know if it is, though.
Retro Chief said, duh, to 100% a retro gaming compilation. Hell yeah. What's left? What haven't we gotten yet? Like Atari? Atari Classics. Wait, I think we did get that. Commodore 64 Remake. Winter Games.
How about more OG Xbox games?
That's not retro. I guess it is. Damn it.
I mean, what is
so
technically
young.
retro?
I mean, if you ask me, it's anything from...
How many years?
80s. If you ask you, it's a Vita.
So, quick Bing search. How... Yeah, this is going to be great this week.
Shirts.
How many years to be retro? It said 15 or 20 years. So depending on which one of those you want to go with, OG Xbox is retro.
Yeah, I don't think that's what Retro Chief has in mind.
Oh, I know it's not. Well, but that's also because he's old, so.
Right. All right. Vulgar Latin, of course, said, oh, probably read a book or something. Oh, wait. Of course, referring to the time that he bribed the Zidalon dude into putting his name into, I think, Castle of No Escape in one of the title updates. But it was pretty clever.
Them. He literally just asked.
Shh.
Which
he paid them lots of money.
Have we all known it was that easy?
He bribed them for sure. All right. What other answers do we have here? We have Philip Wendell. Play a game for 365 days consecutively. Ooh.
That's a terrible achievement.
How angry people would get. They would be so angry if there was an achievement like that. Because it's 365 days consecutive. It's not like overtime or whatever. And even date shifting your console, like all the effort it would take to shift it one day at a time to get credit, people would hate that.
That almost wouldn't be worth it.
Now, I like...
Especially if you pull your frame like 250 days in.
I like the achievement. I like just the thought of free messing it up. But I don't really understand what it has to do with his gamer tag, unless it's just something something he created, so that's what he wants. I don't know if it has to do...
Or he's a streaker.
Oh, he's a streaker. What does that mean?
If he's a streaker, it makes sense. At least for him.
Like Will Ferrell streaker, or like playing every day type of streaker like me, like achievements?
Why not both?
Oh, okay.
Naked streaking, yeah. Playing a game naked multiple days in a row. You got it.
A connected achievement
that requires the... I was just about to say naked.
That. Oh, man. We'd have some good times on Twitch. Carpe Adam 79 says, have your character find and eat 79 apples in one day, causing a seizure. What?
What?
Okay.
What?
I mean, like if you're playing a Snow White game, I could see how eating apples would not be a great idea. But other than that, I don't understand a seizure. But I like it. It's creative. It's creative.
Do you just really like apples or something, Adam?
Maybe. He's kept 79 teachers away. Oh, wait. Wait. I got that wrong.
Teachers?
Doctors? Dentists?
Yeah, doctors.
And
apple
a day keeps the
apple
teacher
day.
Yeah.
So are we supposed to combine
now I know what to do.
the Philip Wendell achievements and the Carpe Adam achievement, and you're going to have to eat an apple for 365 consecutive days?
Okay.
That does not sound pleasant. I like apples, but after about 2 weeks, I would get so sick of them.
Yeah. And the last one I'm going to read is from Hatton to wear 90 hats. Oh, that's right. He's Hatton 90. Where
That's
are
a
these
good one.
people getting these numbers from? I mean, they're just so arbitrary. It would be like if I said, oh, I don't know, eat 69 sandwiches. It's just a random number that people are making up. Unbelievable.
Well, at least it's in their name. Well,
I guess
for Adam
so.
and Hatton it is.
Yeah, so I guess my answer would have to be something, of course, either to do with, I guess, sandwiches is what I become associated with. Or in the other direction.
That was your own doing.
I don't understand it. I mean, they could make like a grammar police game. So like
grammar Nazi game, the way you are.
No, you can't have that kind of game. Come on now. Wolfenstein 3D. Beat up the grammar Nazis. Just a picture of me instead of Hitler. All right. I like this. All right. Well, we'll just go with eat 69 sandwiches. And this is just an excuse to say sandwich to up the tally for KT Echo, who said he's going to listen to all the podcast episodes again. We'll see if you actually do that, sir.
We just need to get transcripts of this so we just search for the word sandwich.
Sandwich.
All right. Michelle, would you like to go next?
Sure, I can do that. So moving along, we have Hawkeye Barry, who says, for Hawkeye Barry's gamer tag, you would create a player for the Iowa Hawkeyes, name him Barry, and have him throw or score 20 touchdowns in a season. That is actually practical kind of achievement that people could go for. So
yeah, that's a cool one.
I like that a lot.
I like that.
NCAA football.
Yeah. Wild West 08 says start a gunfight in Red Dead Redemption 2 in each saloon. Again, that is a real practical one. Wild West.
That's a good one too.
Totally fits the theme. Every saloon. I like it. Ahayzo is a little more interpretive, but I think they understood the assignment. He understood the assignment as well. His achievement would just be the Droggle Jug achievement from Deponia. Beat the game in Ahayzo mode where all the dialogue is replaced with Ahayzo. So for the remainder of the podcast, we're going to do it in Ahayzo mode. Ahayzo. Ahayzo.
Ahayzo.
Ahayzo.
Ahayzo.
Oh, Ahayzo.
And then
Droggle Jug.
I'm gonna just toggle that off. So if anyone's not familiar, the Droggle Jug achievement in Deponia is it just replaces all of the text in Deponia with the word Droggle Jug, and it's totally revoiced with Droggle Jug over and over again. GT3
sounds the worst.
It's hilarious and then annoying and then back to hilarious. It's one of those.
Right, yeah. It kind of resets after a while because you get so annoyed by it. Okay, moving on. GT3 Option Fan gives us another NCAA football achievement. So I'm thinking if we go through the community thoroughly enough, we might be able to build the whole list for the game. Play as Georgia Tech and run the triple option in NCAA football. He also adds that this is horribly dated now because they moved away from the triple option several years ago. So I watch football. I enjoy football. My college, my alma mater's football team is ranked like 113th in the country. So I'm not paying too much attention, but I'm not sure what the triple option is. I guess, Elle, you're probably the only one that's likely to have any chance of knowing what that is.
I mean, an option play is to pass it to the hand it off to the running back, and then the running back can choose to throw it. And that's typically what an option play is, I think.
So maybe like the running back could hand it to a second person, and that person can throw it.
I don't
know.
Look into it.
Gonna have to get educated on that one.
I will say that it clears up where his gamer tag comes from now. So thank you.
Okay.
Now I get it.
Yeah, and that's another great achievement. And then, of course, not to be outdone, we have Chewy, who, for Chewy's achievement, would have you tear someone's arms off and store them in a freezer. So this
naturally,
is, right? It's on character.
Can it be in an NCAA football game?
Now that's a football game I would play.
Right next to the Gatorade. So
now, I've watched all the Star Wars movies multiple times, and I've never seen him put them in a freezer. So that's disturbing. That part is disturbing.
Well, remember, his name is Chewy on Ice. So,
yeah.
I know we all say Chewy, we shorten it down, and Chewy always has fun nicknames for other things that we run, but the arms are on ice. It makes sense for his gamer tag, because that's the crux of the question, right? Using your gamer tag, what would your achievement be? And so to that end, for my gamer tag, I was thinking I would go with something like a Paugi style game where the achievement would be for like finding all the words that don't have the letter I in them first, since my tag is just the word matriarch without the letter I.
Oh, cool.
All right. How about you, Nate?
Well, let's see. We've got Freemhole, who says, collect 100% of cards in a turn-based roguelite collectible card game.
That sounds awful. Yeah.
I really thought his would be any date-based thing or any streak-based thing and missing one. M's Fergie says, pet every possible animal in a game. I am down for that. You can pet the dog. The way to go. X the Hero says, decline all party members from joining you on your adventures. Beat the entire game solo.
Wow.
And then you have my gamer tag, Koosh Moose. So, a lot of people have chosen, like, not what they do, but what their name is. And mine's, what would you do with Koosh Moose? I guess you'd have to take out a moose with Koosh balls, because that's the kind of Koosh it is. It's not Kush, which is Mary Joanna, to do a marijuana. But a Koosh is a toy. It's a plastic toy. So we'll just go off of my actions, and that is, to get Koosh Moose, you'd have to buy the best version of an item in a store after buying the best version of that same item in a previous store and never using it. That would be the Koosh Moose.
Sounds right.
That's very good. All right.
What if you... trying to think of something to do with opening tabs, but he had the right idea.
All right. For ones I'm going to read, first up is Rocker Dude, 100% a song while the volume is muted, which that is already an achievement, so I don't know if he came up with that on his own or he just totally stole that. But that's in Guitar Hero 3, the tone deaf achievement.
Oh, Rocker.
It's appropriate, though.
It's a 50-50 shot of what actually happened there. It is. Dino Man 87, dress up as a dinosaur.
Oh.
Yeah, that works.
It does.
That sounds like something from like Saints Row or something. Or GTA.
You're like the candy corn costume in Costume Quest, where you had to play through with it for the whole game.
Erutaerc said, late to my own party, but I'll answer anyway, in the hope that they will make a 2-point zoo, which, side note, oh my god, that sounds amazing. Please, 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 2-point, make a 2-point zoo. 2-point zoo in the future, new species discovered, but at what cost? Bred a rhinoceros? Rhinoceros?
Rear? I guess.
Rear rhinoceros.
Rear rhinoceros. Like the butt, the rear.
Yeah. I could see 2-point with their goofy humor doing something like that. And then the last one is from Death Dealers. Dress up as a casino card dealer and kill everyone.
Oh, man.
The house always wins.
What kind of game is this?
Prominence poker.
Hopefully a kid's game. It's got to be contextual to something.
A payday style game.
What? She's a dealer.
Yeah, it's
dealer.
for kings, casinos, and slots.
Kills everyone.
Just you play as the dealer instead of as somebody losing all your money in the casino.
But that would make that game good.
Now, that may or may not be a scene from Underworld, which I think is where she got her name from. So if it is, I've never seen the movie.
Her
And I don't
gamer
think
pick
any
is
of us
from
have.
there,
So
at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know though. But as far as for my gamer tag, I will do the one thing that nobody listening to this has ever done. It would be to beat Avatar: The Burning Earth all the way through.
What?
Whoa.
Can that be done?
Which
legitimately playing
Wait,
the
you
game.
just mean like all 5 minutes?
like legitimately playing it, not just unlocking the achievements.
What?
Legitimately playing it.
So it would be an
all the way
achievement for
through.
like finishing the final boss or something to affect that, something that would require you to actually play through the entire game.
Yes.
All right.
And for context for that, Nate is probably the only one that may get this.
That's true.
Yeah. But my gamer tag is actually from Avatar, where there's an episode where Sokka's stuck in the ground, and there's a saber-toothed moose lion cub that he names Fufu Cuddly Poof. And for the longest time, for well over a decade, nobody knew that. There's only been one person that ever got that deep cut. That I've been asked about it a bunch, but ever since it's come to Netflix, now everybody has watched it, and everybody gets that reference now. At least those that watch the show anyway.
I think I was better off not knowing.
I spent all this time
You should just watch the show. It's that good.
It was some kind of Pokemon thing. Like,
of course.
I've had a lot of people think it was a Pokemon thing.
Poof. It seemed
right.
Relatable enough.
Nope, it has been an Avatar thing. But that's all the responses that we got. That was fun.
I would love some follow up on some of these from folks that we didn't quite understand all of the ins and outs of the specifics of what they suggested, just so that we get some clarity, and love to hear more or read more discussion about this in Discord once this is open for more broad discussion. This was a cool question.
Yeah, and be sure to talk about this in podcast discussion. Now, all these answers came from our patrons, but no need for all you normies who aren't a patron. You guys can join in the conversation now.
Oh.
Just on the podcast, only the patrons get a shout out. All right, but anyway, let's move into the game showcase. Why don't you start us off?
Okay. Well, last Thursday, one of the people we play As Dusk Falls with decided to abandon us. So we decided to check out a new Game Pass.
I had a vacation.
Oh, yeah.
I got a free vacation. What do you want me to do?
Yeah. Remember, the audience could not see your air quotes, so don't lie.
No, I'm not lying.
You'll have to tell
I got
me about
emails and gift cards to prove it.
You tell us about that later. So we decided to check out the Game Pass game, You Suck at Parking.
No, you suck at parking.
No, you suck at parking. Nah. So, this is an 8-player game in which there's a series of, I believe, 4 courses, and there's spots on the map, and you have to just drive to the spot and park. It's a very simple task that you have to do. You cannot reverse. You can only drive. You can brake. And basically, it's a little bit of bumper cars, a little bit of, I was going to say destruction derby, but you're not really trying to ram into people, but it can get a little hectic.
I would ram into other people.
I mean, you can ram into people if they're about to park and then knock them off the parking spot. So you basically have to find the parking spot and sit there for like 2 seconds. And then you get launched, you get spawned back at the beginning. And then you have to find the other ones. There's usually around 8 or 9 parking spots. And you have, how long was it? 3 minutes? Something like that.
Yeah, it's something like
that. I think it was 2.
2 minutes? It goes very quick. It's very quick. So right away, Corey's been finding all these 8-player games for us to play, like the Turbo Golf Racing, and we've had Dusk Falls, and there's been a lot of these. It's been great. But the one thing, we booted up the game, we did the tutorial, got the achievement for finishing the tutorial, got the game on our tags, and then we see the first thing you see is on the main menu. It says, "We're going to have parties soon, so you can play with your friends." And we're like, "What? Didn't launch with this?"
Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly. You cannot party up with your friends.
Wild.
However, there were about 8 of us in the party, but I think 5 of us decided to play the multiplayer together, and a few of us were playing the campaign. So me and M and Corey and Icefire
and Vulgar.
Oh yeah, Vulgar. So the 5 of us were searching together, and we found each other a lot of the times. And if you didn't find each other, you could just back out and just search again, and it's a quick process. So this was basically the day the game came out, so I don't know how it would be now. So after about an hour of playing, we figured out what to do pretty quickly. We knew what we were doing. So then, you match up with some level 1s, and you can have your way with them. So after we were done playing, we did play for a good couple hours. I think Corey stuck around and got some of the harder achievements, because he's got like 2,600 TA in this game.
Yeah, I was looking. He has a bunch of them.
Yeah, so the big ones he got were Carnivore, win 3 online multiplayer matches in a row. Eat My Dust, win all rounds of an online multiplayer match. No spot left unparked, park on all spots in a full match in online multiplayer. And a couple of things like that. Oh, park on the last spot with the last car in the last round in online multiplayer. My favorite achievement name in the game is Peter Parkster, which is to drive vertically for 5 minutes in total. What were you saying, Michelle?
No, you answer. You went through his list and what he's missing. So
yeah, so he did a lot, and there's still a ridiculous amount of achievements, but I don't think you can get them all yet, because there's having to do with the season and perfect all the levels in the base game. I guess that's the campaign.
Right. So there is
the season one is just to get to level 25.
Right. Right. And the campaign is slightly different. Within the campaign, there's in each stage you get whatever the set time is, but as you park successfully on the spots, you are given back 10 seconds or 15 seconds. It's added to your timer. But in some of the stages, they introduce different elements, like in one where you pass certain lines, a police car will chase you. So you might get to the spot, you might park, but while you're resetting to the beginning to get to the next spot, that police car that was chasing you knocks your car out of the spot. So now you're no longer parked there. So you have to kind of go back and try to get that park. So the campaign comes down to kind of figuring out the best approach to usually it's anywhere between 2 and 4 spots in the stage to get everything done. And I think there's an achievement for perfecting all those. And perfecting means getting all the spots without losing one car. So thankfully there's quick reset. So you can just kind of quickly go right back in and redo stuff. And if you miss the first spot, just reset it right away. There's no harm, no foul. But I'm pretty early. I'm only on like the 4th world. But it seems like one of those games where you're going to bang your head against the wall for a while. But eventually, and probably already, there are videos and things that'll show better strategies to figure it out. Because when I got up to the one with the police cars chasing me, I could deal with ice. I understand how that works in a game. I'm going to slide a little bit, whatever. But that one I had a hard time figuring out how to actually park without them knocking me out of the spot all the time. So there'll probably be ways to review that stuff. Whereas in the online, you don't, at least to what we played, you don't really encounter as much of that, because all you have to do is land on the spot once and get as many of the spots successfully before everybody else in your 8-player crew.
Now, on the online, when you were finally in the spot, could you get knocked out?
You can, but only in that like brief 2-second window. Once you're parked, once that spot turns pink for you, you have full credit for it. You don't have to worry about it.
Gotcha.
You can definitely get knocked out.
You can, but not well after the fact. Like, it's not like your car stays there, and so when you're on your third spot, your first spot can get knocked out. That would be
that's
infuriating.
What I was wondering. Yeah, I can see that this is going to be one of those games where, what do I say for it? You're going to want to stick to. I could like trying to perfect all the levels. That's always just going to be a high TA, I can imagine, especially as being a Game Pass game.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of them, well, I've only done the first two, and it's just like, yeah, these are easily perfected. There's really nothing that bad. But I can tell that the higher the game goes, the more difficult the levels are going to be. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be more skill-based.
Right.
And I know Elle mentioned that, you guys started a game up and completed a tutorial. Just as a warning for any completionists out there, finishing the tutorial is an achievement, and you'll get that within like 2 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Stupid easy to put this on your tag, which is why this has such a high ratio right now.
Well, and it is fun as sort of a drop in, drop out, play the multiplayer for a little bit kind of game. There's like just the right level of chaos. Like, I'll fully admit I was getting frustrated playing it because I felt like every time I moved, I was getting smashed into by somebody or knocked off the edge of the stage. And that's probably just reflective of me not being super aggressive where other people are being aggressive about getting to the spots. So the game is playing the way it's meant to. But yeah, I think a lot of folks just hop in and play the multiplayer. They're not going to touch the campaign. So you'll probably see those ratios stay pretty high, especially for the campaign-related achievements.
Yeah, I haven't got to try the multiplayer yet. As you said before, I was out. But I did just, play for a few minutes just so I can get the idea of how the game works so we can talk about it. Nate, have you played this?
I have played it. I haven't spent very much time in the multiplayer because it was just me doing it, and I wasn't sure if there's a way to boost it or not at the time. And I actually went into multiplayer right away. So I did like the intro or whatever, and then I jumped right into multiplayer, and I was just like, I have no freaking clue how the mechanics work for this. So I'm going to go back in. So then I played the single player for a bit and like it. And I unlocked like 2 or 3 islands now. And I got to the police level. And what I found is that what works pretty well is if, like, sometimes there's like straight away parking spots where it's really hard to get the police to kind of fall off an edge or run into a fence or something. And if I just save that one for last, like the timer is much shorter on your last car. It's way shorter than like the 2 second or whatever it is for an intermediate car. So yeah, so if there was one that like you constantly just get knocked out by the police car, try to save that one for last, and that might help. So
good tip.
Yeah, I like the game. That win 3 in a row does seem difficult. So we shall see. We shall see if I can get that done. I don't know if people are going to be, really playing this after they get their achievement. I don't know.
Well,
I would imagine, unless this gets really big on Twitch or something like that, that'll be easily boostable in a few months.
Right. Once you're allowed to have friends play with you, it should be pretty easy, unless that they don't allow achievements in whatever player created rooms. But I think Corey was also mentioning that you can just like, you can leave the room a bunch until you eventually get to a room where there's like 1 or 2 of you, so that you're not playing against a full set of 8. And frequently people would leave right away anyway. So there are ways to sort of manipulate it at the moment, but I get the feeling once you're allowed to actually invite your friends to play, it's not going to be bad.
There was another solution that said if you're going to lose, just quit out, and it doesn't remember the fact that you quit out. So
there you go.
You win one, you're going to lose, you quit out, and then you play another one, you're going to win that one, then that'll be 2 in a row. If you don't feel good about that third one, you quit, and you just do it again.
Yep, I was just about to say, I was just reading the achievement solution for that. So that's actually a very easy achievement to get in that case.
There's still have to beat the people that are playing.
Yeah, fair. So. Easier. Let's put it that way.
Yes, you don't actually have to do them consecutively.
Yeah.
So.
And Corey was saying he was quitting out until he found level 1s.
Oh, okay.
And like I said, after a couple hours, we were
good idea.
We were better than level 1s just for playing a couple hours.
Yeah, just knowing the mechanics and just the general stuff.
But yes, if everyone quits and you play by yourself, it still counts.
Mm-hmm. And there are a fair amount of maps for the multiplayer because it's not the same as the single player levels, but there's not an overwhelming number. So after playing for an hour or two, we'd played most of them a couple times. So to what Elle's getting at, they're randomized. So you may hit the same map like twice in a row in 2 sets of rounds. But after a little while, you'll see all of them. And then once you get a handle on where the parking spots are, you should be all right.
Yeah, I can see that as well. This not being a game that you want to play for a super long time.
Mm-hmm.
It getting boring quick. Unless you totally like this kind of a game. Which I can't imagine there's too many people out there.
I had fun with it. I didn't try the single player, though. I guess I would try it, but the appeal to me was playing with everyone and playing it for real. It was fun. The other thing is, unlike a lot of other games like this, there were no bots, I'm pretty sure. So it was all...
Right.
That's nice.
All peoples.
Yeah, that's how Turbo Golf Racing was. We always had bots of that when we played it that one night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I look forward to the parties being added. They also had like an overview of what's going to be added in a couple months, the coming months, and one of them right away was like, "Oh no!" It was adding frozen levels. So playing this game with ice underneath you doesn't sound too great.
Ice levels are never good.
Ice levels and underwater levels are never good.
I mean, that
is correct.
Ice is better than water, but
ice exists in the campaign, and it's really.
Oh yeah.
It's not super terrible. It's mostly the worst part about ice in You Suck at Parking is the actual parking part. You just have to remember to brake a whole lot sooner or to not hit your top speed. But it really mechanically does not seem too terrible, honestly, in the game.
I don't know if you guys went into the options and tried to just to see what there was, but I liked it when you went to the control scheme that they actually have an option for reverse, like when they're telling you what buttons do what. And then when you see what button reverses, it just says reverses for the week.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
I thought that was funny because, like also, there's no reversing in the game.
Yeah. It basically says something like that during the tutorial.
Oh, if it did, I missed that.
Something like that.
Yeah, that was one thing that I did. You know, you go through a tutorial, you miss the parking spots. Like, oh, okay, well, let me just hold L in reverse, and it's just, nope, I'm holding the trigger, and I'm not going nowhere. And then the car resets. It's like, wait, what? Yeah, it's a neat little game. Does anybody else have anything they want to add to that?
Not really.
All right, resounding no. Well, in that case, Nate, what game did you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the Beasts of Maravilla Island. And the biggest question I had about this game was, how do you pronounce Maravilla? And apparently, they answer that in about 30 seconds into the game with a little bit of voiceover, which is nice. So now we know it's Maravilla. And this was a Games with Gold game in July of 2022. And this was about the time that I had played another game, and my daughter played most of it. And so I was thinking this game was going to be very similar to that type of kid-friendly game. And it turns out it is. I haven't played too much of it. Played about an hour or so. But I get the sense that I know exactly everything about this game now. I've done a little research as well. There are no missables per se, because there is chapter select. So if you do happen to, miss an achievement, you can always restart a particular chapter you need to go back and get it. It's a 3D game, so you can move the camera all the way around. You basically go to this island that your grandfather tells you stories about, and you have his journal, and you're going there just to take pictures of all the wildlife on this island to, I guess, help people's imaginations and things like that, and keep the island alive for other people. So the first thing you do when you get on the island is it teaches you to walk. I recommend that you spin 360 degrees, slowly looking at everything, and then immediately go into the options and change the sensitivity all the way up, because the spin speed is ridiculously slow. And when you maximize it to be as sensitive as it possibly can be, it's only slightly slow. And that is going to save you a lot of frustration. And you then move around the island just with your camera, and you basically interact with everything, almost everything, with your camera. You'll be taking pictures of plants. You'll be taking pictures of animals, and you'll be taking pictures of specific animals doing specific actions. The very first one that you do for that is a kind of a monkey bird kind of thing. It's a bird with wings. I'm sorry, it's a monkey with wings. And you need to capture pictures of it doing, I think, 4 or 5 different actions, like dancing, singing, flying, and some other stuff. I think just like a natural picture of them. So not them actually doing anything, but just to picture them in the wild. When you do that, you get an achievement. I think there's another animal or 2 that you have to do that for later in the game. I think I've progressed to the second area. I don't think the game gets too much more complicated than that. Some of the pathways open up by taking pictures of things, and taking a picture of a certain plant will cause a ray of sunshine to hit another plant, and then you can climb your way out. It's a little weird. And then there was another place where I actually did have to pick up something to solve a puzzle and place it in another location just to get through a puzzle. So I'm assuming there's going to be some more simple puzzles like that. Nothing too complicated. It does seem like it's a pretty easy game for a kid to progress through, or, for an achievement hunter to progress through and not spend too much time on. But it's kind of a cute little game, and I'm okay with it. I'm definitely going to finish it before I forget. And then I might introduce my daughter to it, but really, she's looking forward to Slime Rancher 2. So this is no Slime Rancher 2. Slime Rancher 2 is way higher quality and much more draw to that game. So it's going to be hard to get her to play this one. But yeah, that's the Beasts of Maravilla. Maravilla Island.
I did some quick Google foo. Maravilla is Spanish for wonder. There you go.
Yes, they actually mentioned that. I think it's in the journal.
What was it's Spanish for what?
Wonder.
Like Wonder Bread with the Wonder Years.
I get it now. I just coughed right when you said wonder, so I missed it.
And TA lists it as 2 to 3 hours.
Oof.
TA says it's 2 to 3 hours. I've already spent an hour, so I should be done soon. An hour and 20 minutes. But I had dinner, so that doesn't count.
Just hand it off.
It's like poor man's Pokemon Snap.
Yeah, there's let's see. There's the Singing Jungle area, the Glimmering River area, the Painted Plateau area. So I think there's an island. Yeah, so I think 3 areas all total.
All right.
Maravilla.
Yeah, so if you're wondering what that game was that you got with Games with Gold, that's it.
I actually was.
Yeah. It's not going to be that long, so.
That's right.
Is that why you recognize this?
Yeah. I just assumed when they recommended it that it was some cartoon or licensed product.
Not that I'm aware of.
So
Yet.
the same
Next
publisher
week.
for this game published Lake, which begs the question, which
boy.
game is more boring?
Well,
by default, you know the answer.
Oh man, ouch.
That was a joke.
I haven't played all of it yet.
Mailman Simulator.
as far as I know, you cannot back up traffic in this game. I'm going to say this one's probably less exciting.
I just clicked on a publisher and I see Lake. It's just like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, man. All right. Well, in that case, if nobody has anything else to add to this, let's get into some sales. Michelle, why don't you go first?
All right. I actually found something to recommend, which is unusual with these sales, and that's the Hasbro Family Fun Pack Super Edition. It's usually $60. It's marked down to $15 right now. And this includes Trivial Pursuit Live, Risk Urban Assault, Risk, Monopoly Plus, Boggle, and Battleship. Now, chances are you may have picked up one or a couple of these individually in different sales, but each game is typically $15. So you get them all for that one price. So even if you've picked up some of the others, it may be worth looking into this one. All 6 games have very different achievement completion times or game completion times. You get everything from a 1 to 2 hour completion in here with I want to say the Monopoly Plus game, and then you get much longer ones with Risk, but Risk could also be fun to play with other folks. So this seems like a pretty solid deal to me. That was all I had to recommend.
That's a good recommendation, especially getting both Risk games. So they're the 2 I want that I don't have.
You sank my battleship.
Nate, what games do you want to recommend?
Well, I am going to recommend the East Asia Soft Shmup Bundle, which is $3 down from $9. Or if you're going to buy them individually, they're $15 if you buy all 3 of these games individually.
Oh, you should do that.
They are all shoot 'em ups, shmups, and they are Null Drifter, Project Starship, and Red Death. Now, I don't remember a single thing about Null Drifter or Project Starship, which means they're not very difficult and they're not super memorable. I have not played Red Death yet, so I'm going to assume it's probably the same.
So, Null Drifter was awful. I don't recommend that. Project Starship was just straight chaos, and Red Death was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it.
Okay. Well, there you go. They're $1 each if you get them all 3.
Yeah.
And you don't have them before. So
I
like shmups, and I do. These are games. Next up, Focus Indies Bundle. Now, these are really good games, I think. It's $20 down from $40 or $55 individually for these 3 games. And what are they? Well, they are Curse of the Dead Gods, which we know is awesome. That's a roguelite dungeon crawler. And we've talked about that before. So if you know what you're getting and you think that's good, then you're halfway or a third of the way through this bundle. Next up is Shady Part of Me, which is a platformer, but really, I think it's more of a puzzle platformer, TA. So should probably get that changed. I like the game, although I've never gone back to finish it. I don't know what's wrong with me. Must not be shiny enough. Next up in that bundle is Aeon Must Die, which is a beat 'em up. Yeah, people don't seem to be rating this one that high. I've never played it. I don't own it, but I might get it because of this bundle. I don't know. Aeon Must Die is currently I think like $15 or $20 individually, so it's not great. I don't know. So this one's kind of iffy. I know for a fact that Curse of the Dead Gods is good, and I know Shady Part of Me is good. And for $20, getting those 2 games and a free game, that's why I'm recommending this. Next
Curse
up
of
is
the Dead Gods is $20 in and of itself.
Yeah. Next up is The Long Reach. Now, if you're like me, this is not the game you're thinking. It is not that one that's been on Game Pass a billion times for like over a year. It's not that. This game is an adventure point and click, and it's $4 down from $15. It's 1 to 2 hours, and it does have a walkthrough. So I think this is a solid get. I like the art style. You probably won't like it. It's it's 8-bit-ish. Next up is Bomber Crew. It's $4 down from $20. This is a sim management game. So why is it on my list? Well, it was on Game Pass, and I never finished it. And I started it, and it's 15 to 20 hours. So this is a good get if you want to finish things that were in Game Pass at some point in time, but escaped your completion. And the next game is Space Crew, which is like Bomber Crew 2. It's $5 down from 25. It is once again sim management. It's more Bomber Crew, but in space, and it's 20 to 25 hours.
Hey.
All right. El, you got any recommendations?
Is that a Z to Z callback? I respect that.
Yes, that's what I meant to do.
That was a thing they did for a while.
I forgot that was a thing.
It's like Destiny. All right. Well, I have a couple of L favorites to recommend. The first one is The Adventures of El in a Temple Definitive Edition, which is $2 down from $5. I don't know why I like this game so much, but I do. It's got 2,000 gamer score. It's got some accessibility / cheat options, so you can jump high and jump out of the level and cheat, or you can go through legit. I think you have to do a combination of both. I like that there's different color schemes, all based around old consoles. So there's like the Game Boy, Game Gear, Commodore, all the old stuffs. I don't know. I really like this game. And another game that I talk about all the time is Demetrius, the Big Cynical Adventure. Just to annoy Corey, it is $1 down from $10 by publisher and developer Cowcat, who I wanted to give a quick shout out. They have a new game coming out very soon, hopefully, called Brock the Investigator. And Gator beginning with a capital G since he is an alligator. Very clever.
Har.
And it combines two of Kenny's favorite genres. It is a point and click beat 'em up, so he calls it a punch and click. So I know you will really enjoy this game, Kenny.
I'll be all over that.
But it did come out for Steam, and I'm waiting for the Xbox version to come out with bated breath. I like the humor in Demetrius, so I'm ready for this one. It's fully voice acted this time. I was watching some footage earlier. Looks like a good time.
All right. Just a reminder with games of gold. Gods Will Fall on the Xbox One side is available along with now Double Kick Heroes until October 15th. And then on the 360 side, Portal 2 is now available for download until the end of the month.
All right. Get Portal, everyone.
Apparently, it's really good.
Yeah, apparently. No, it's very
and
good.
that's the last of Xbox 360.
I've played the first one. I've never played the second.
Yes.
Yep.
And there's a free DLC called Peer Review that you can get also. It's still there. I checked.
That's good to know.
Extra content.
All right. Well, for Game Pass, September 20th, we will be getting Deathloop.
Yeah.
Hard Space Shipbreaker. And then Origami 2. And then on September 22nd, we'll be getting Beacon Pines, Slime Rancher 2, and Spider Heck.
Spider Heck.
I figured something like that was coming.
2-player couch co-op.
Just a quick note about Origami 2 is it was supposed to leave Game Pass on the 15th, but then they extended it. So you're wondering why it's still around. That's why. Now, we don't know when they're going to pull it, but I don't know. Maybe you got 2 more weeks at the least.
On September 23rd, we'll get Proteus. On September 27th, we will have the full release of Grounded. Will finally be coming out. I'm gonna have to revisit that one. And then also on the 27th, we get Moon Scars,
which we think is a Vayner. Should be a Vayner.
Mm-hmm. On September 29th, we get Let's Build a Zoo. That'll be our new Thursday night game. And Valheim for the PC.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's as horrible as you think it is. It's oh my gosh, it's just misery for me.
Wait,
come on, man. You know you want to do more zoo building.
Oh,
you know Nate's talking about Let's Build a Zoo.
Wait,
That's
why?
completely and totally his game.
It's not my genre.
Oh, he hates it.
I can't stand that genre.
You can pet
because I can't
pet
stand
the lions.
No, not my genre. Not my genre.
I think it sounds terrible,
And
but playing it with Kenny and everyone will probably make it fun.
I was gonna say he'll play it with me, and I'll get him lots of achievements.
Ooh, now we're talking. We need to get back to farm together, so you can get me some more achievements there too.
I need to get back to farm together.
Yeah.
Oh, and then on September 30th, the game Nate is most excited for, Paw Patrol Grand Prix.
Yes.
Roll out. Ready to rumble.
I can't imagine that being anything less than stellar.
I know nothing about Paw Patrol, really. Oliver is not of the age to watch that show.
Yeah, you will. You will.
Yes.
I know I will. But he's not there yet. He still just wants to watch Super Simple Songs, so I'm spared of Paw Patrol for now.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
There's a million versions of that.
Yep.
All right. And then leaving Game Pass on September 30th.
I know you want to say Al. Just say it.
Nope. That was the cough button. It's AI. I don't know what that stands for, though. The Sonium file? Sonium? I don't know right now, man. I don't care. Astria Ascending, Dandy Ace, Dirt 4, Dirt Rally, Going Under, Lemniscate, Slime Rancher, Subnautica Below Zero. I thought that game was free. The Procession to Calvary, Unsighted, and Visage. That is a long list of games.
Subnautica is so quick, it almost seems like it's free.
I assume that was a free-to-play game.
It's one of the console command games, so I can understand why you might loop it in there in your brain, because nobody hangs out with it too long.
You still have to do some things.
I think they might have patched that out.
I know, El, you play. I don't know if you have as well, Koosh, but is Procession to Cavalry worth the rush to beat the Game Pass closure?
No.
I didn't ask you.
I mean, wait, who are you asking, Koosh?
I said El and Koosh specifically.
Sure. Yeah, it's worth it. I mean,
I really liked it a lot. I mean, go ahead, use a guide, but just read everything that's there because it's hilarious. But just don't.
I really thought it was okay.
It's fine. I mean, it's got gratuitous violence, cursing, nudity, humor, more gratuitous violence, British humor. It's got classical music. I don't know. It's like a 2-hour game at most. Just play it. I played it on my laptop. You can play it anywhere. It's a point and click. You probably want to use your laptop for that, for inventory sake. Just drag and drop. You can't go wrong. Just don't play it when the kiddies are around, or the wife, or anyone, or just anyone, really.
Just don't play it.
Just don't play it.
All right. Well.
Fine.
We've come all the way around on that one.
Proceed to play it.
Kenny wins.
Very Waldorf and Statler.
Yes. Well, speaking of games coming, I know there's a game coming sort of soon, real soon. I'm not sure how soon, but that Michelle wanted to talk about real fast.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, not soon at all. But I know we didn't spend a whole bunch of time, or really any time, especially this week, on the Tokyo Game Show announcements. And there's a lot of kind of cool intrigue going on. There's all these great pictures of like Phil Spencer and Hideo Kojima kind of hanging out, doing, I don't know, game development things. But I am super, super, super excited about the Suikoden 1 and 2 remake. And I'm glad to have just a moment to speak about this, because I know there are at least 2 other people in Discord that are just as excited as I am. And it's, just kind of typical Konami to let a intellectual property sit and do nothing for a long time, and then, oh look, successful Kickstarter for something related but not exactly the same. So let's go ahead and renew that copyright. But I am so excited. I know no one else has played the game on the panel other than me, so I am not gonna go on and on and on about it. My most sincere hope, two things. I don't know what they mean by a remake, obviously. Like, sometimes that means we're just going to kind of emulate the old version and make it look a little more pretty. Sometimes it means we're going to totally redo it. I don't know, and I really didn't look at too much of the content because I just want to get there when it comes. But the whole thing that made Suikoden distinct from other RPGs was you actually collected 108 characters. And of course, only only a handful of them are really developed, like, important characters. But as you're collecting these characters, they fill out your home base. So you go out and you recruit the person who staffs your armory, and you recruit the person who stands in the entranceway and goes, well, welcome to the castle, or whatever. So there are so many really cool and interesting things they can do for an achievement list in this game. And I really, really hope the achievement list isn't just like, recruit 10 people, recruit 20 people. I will still play it. I don't care. But there are just so many cool things. Like, in my head, I was just... when they ask about games you want to be remade, like, this is usually... Like, Suikoden 2 in particular is, like, my favorite RPG ever. So to get to play that on an Xbox...
Oh, that's cool.
And good for Xbox, really, who's made headway with Japanese publishers and getting these games onto Xbox. Because it's not just about this one, right? Like, it's anything that's out there. Leave Final Fantasy VII Remake alone. There's clearly, exclusivity agreements and money involved with keeping it on PlayStation, and that's fine. We're getting the Crisis Core remake. That's something, so it's not like the door's completely closed. But it is so exciting for JRPG fans, and I know I've said on this podcast before that I think I've kind of moved on from JRPGs, but I am so excited for this game, and it is exciting that Xbox has taken these steps to make it so that people who choose to prioritize Xbox will have an opportunity to play these games. So I am very pumped. That was a very exciting and successful TGS, I think, for Xbox gamers and such. And I really look forward to what else might be coming down the pipe when we start hearing announcements like this that I never fathomed would be possible.
Yeah, who knows? That is one thing that Phil has been doing a great job with, is getting those Japanese developers to at least consider putting their games on the Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's just, on this level, there's a lot we really don't know about the economy of video games and really how Game Pass works, right? Because you see these news articles about people that are excited about the opportunities that Game Pass gives them. There's the one of the games that was announced recently. It's got like the title's like, I think, Chinese based, like, I can't remember, but that developer was saying, like, just getting the opportunity to put it on Game Pass is going to expose that game to a broader audience.
Yeah.
And so, like, using that as, and we don't really know exactly how that affects, again, all these negotiations, but the fact that Microsoft isn't just sitting there and going, well, we're the distant third in Japan, so who cares anyway, is just, again, it's awesome and it's super exciting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at what something like a Power Wash Simulator has done because of Game Pass.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
If it wasn't for Game Pass, that game would have, hundreds of people playing it. Now it's got hundreds of thousands of people playing it.
I never would have purchased it, but I finished that campaign.
No one would.
I did want to say that on another Discord, which I will not name, I saw someone admit that they thought JRPG stood for Junior RPG.
Oh, jeez.
How could you possibly think that?
I don't know.
JRPGs are like the complete opposite of a junior RPG.
Yes, exactly. Those are the easy ones.
I'm more afraid to play a JRPG than an RPG nowadays. I don't have time for most RPGs, especially no JR ones.
I mean, props to them. That's the sort of thing I would never admit. I just kept that one to myself.
We've all had revelations.
Right. I still don't really get the difference between a roguelite and a roguelike, but like JRPG
I do.
Now we know.
It's easy. Roguelite is the good one.
Roguelike is when you die and you don't get anything back. You just start over. Roguelite is when you keep some stuff. That's all.
Well, I don't like
but
the
what's
other
the difference
one.
between
That's
those
confusing.
two and Rogue One?
The one that's Rogue. So Rogue is a jerk. Wait, what did you say?
Anyway, moving on.
All right. Well, in that case, let's get into Brag Camp. Take it away, Michelle.
All right. We've got a very small list of folks celebrating completion milestones, but here are their names anyways. Survivalist has reached 100 completed games. Rocker Dude is at 600 completed games. And Mike Pitch has reached 850 completed games.
In streaks, Dark Lord Davis is currently on a 50-day win streak, as are Sir Polygon and Legohead 1977. AS Unknown 1 is currently on a 400-day, as is Sadek. Benel 72 with 550. Jeremy DJ with 1,100. And Big Ol with 3,550. That's Big L for those that don't know. Celebrating their anniversary, their annual anniversaries, are It's Alive X with 2 years, Mr. Gompers with 9 years, and Mutrarch with 9 years. Some of the people say Matriarch, but it's not right.
It isn't. Thank you for remembering.
Yeah,
thank you.
Kenny does the smart thing and just calls her Michelle.
Yes.
That's always the smart thing.
There's like 3 or 4 different ways I've said your gamer tag, and now
it's okay.
with my voice, it's going to be even worse. So, Michelle's is just the easiest for me.
Michelle.
All right, so in gamer score, Philip Wendell has hit 500,000 gamer score. Whispering Clown has hit 550,000 gamer score. Koosh Moose has hit 750,000 gamer score. Oz Buffniak has hit 800,000. Michelle has hit 850,000. Firehawk D has hit 950,000. Planting 42 has hit 1.1 million gamer score. Nutty Ray has hit 1.3 million gamer score. And Red 047 has hit 1.4 million gamer score. A lot of milestones.
All right, I got my work cut out for me here. In leaderboards, erutaerc, our good friend, is now in the top 200 of the completed games leaderboard for role-playing games. Inferno is in the top 5 of the TA difference leaderboard for action. KT Echo is in the top 20 of the Ohio TA ratio leaderboard. Luke 17,000 is now in the top 200 of the TA difference leaderboard for turn-based and simulation. 2 different categories.
Nice.
Northern Lass is in the top 500 of the completed games leaderboard for ID at Xbox. Prism Scrolly Maloli is in the top 100 of the TA leaderboard for Hack and Slash. Vulgar Latin is in the top 1,000 of the TA difference leaderboard. Planting 42 is in the top 10 of the TA leaderboard for vehicular combat and aerial. And number 1 in the USA TA leaderboard for vehicular combat and aerial.
Nice.
And last but not least, Aaron Judge has hit 60 home runs. Good job, Aaron.
Regular listener, long-time listener of this podcast.
Long-time listener, definitely. All right, but I do have a question for Mr. Fufu Cuddly Poof over here.
Oh, God.
How do you feel about Rocker Dude trying to amass... Well, do you even know what he's doing?
Yeah, I did hear a little bit of it while I was editing last week.
Okay, so he already has over 200,000 gamer score this month.
Uh-huh.
And now he's trying to get to 215,000 or so. 215.
You know why?
Do you know why?
Because that's how much I have.
Yes.
Which,
so how do you feel
once
about
again,
this?
I feel nothing.
I feel dead inside.
Is
old burning hatred.
If this is supposed to be like some sort of an insult or a put down,
No, it's not. It's just fascinating.
This is why like gamer score has become almost just of a nothing.
Quiet. These are our listeners.
When we started this podcast, you could not get 200,000 gamer score on a brand new account in a month. It was not possible. And now here, 4 years later, you can do it with just a little bit of oomph. And the fact of the matter that he's already had 800,000 gamer score just shows how easy that is. Like, GG, you spent, what, 150 hours getting 200,000 gamer score in a month? I know you hated your life the entire time. I mean...
No, but here's the thing.
It
was like 150 minutes.
If Corey or someone else... Okay, that's fair. If Corey or anybody else, if you want to go for sheer numbers, that's good on you, because there's like 6 or 7 developers that are out there that you can do that with. But like, cool. You can get gamer score as much as you want. Big deal anymore. If you could have got 200,000 gamer score through like real games, yeah, that puts me in my place. That's pretty pathetic. That would be pretty pathetic. But like, I mean, once again, you spent like 15 minutes trying to get all that. Who cares?
Exactly. Different strokes for
so
different
you're not going to run the score up a little?
No. If I could get to.
That would be so great if you
look
sold
at what he did
on
a month.
5,000s over the next 3 or 4 days, like just to do it.
Let's do those.
That would be so terrific. Just so terrific.
I could do that just to screw with him, but like, I don't want to. I hate those games, man.
I get you.
Godly. I mean, if I wanted to get to 500 grand by honestly, probably my birthday, honestly, I could do that. But, I don't want to. Life's stressful enough. Why do I want to play a game that I hate getting for gamer score when it's been devalued so much?
Oh, speaking of games you hate, Koosh, what was that bundle?
Yes, that bundle is what is that one? I'm definitely not stalling. Definitely not stalling for time as I look up.
Of course you don't, because we know you have a tab
Cotton Games Adventure Bundle, which is
Jesus
Mr. Pumpkin Adventure, Mr. Pumpkin Adventure, Chinese version, and then something else. I can't remember what the other one was, but
it doesn't matter about the other one. I don't think
it doesn't even matter.
Yes,
the Chinese version would be even worse because you have to spend more time in that because everything they say takes way longer when you translate it to English.
And just in case anyone is curious, the other one is Alien Cruise.
Yes.
Oh, that seals it.
Oh, well, in that case, I am definitely not going to buy it.
Yeah, but this came into the Discord today or yesterday. Yeah, today. Basically, the Canadian version is delisted, and people are talking about like renting other people's accounts just to play it. So now you can just buy it. You gotta do shenanigans. Move to China, or even worse, Canada.
At least if you go to Canada, you can go to like a Tim Hortons or something.
Oh, that's true.
Tim Tams.
Go watch some hockey, drink some syrup, and shoot some moose. Oh, no offense.
Right now. Careful.
Sorry.
Only with Kooshes.
All right, well, that's we already did sales, so we don't really need to talk about that, eh?
Oh, man. Did I win?
Take off.
All right. Well, that will do it for us this week. Hopefully my voice sounds better next week. You know all the links to everything. I need to go get some more hot tea. I don't want to go run down all these. Everything is down in the show notes. Please read the show notes. Elle does a really good job of them sometimes. Yeah.
What a nice backhanded compliment.
I was expecting him to say something else. But yes, thank you all for listening. Thank you to our patrons for supporting the show. Class is dismissed. See y'all next week.
Bye.
So long.
Ahayzo 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 Ahayzo.
Welcome everyone to the second annual Mayhem Brawler newer segment. As we approach the 2-year anniversary of its release, AH101 felt it only appropriate to have a segment named Remembering Mayhem Brawler newer, where we look back at the historic game, one that picked up where Iron Snout left off in redefining the entire genre amongst other Mayhem. This game is not Castle Crashers. Here to reflect on things Mayhem Brawler newer with me is an individual new to Team Mayhem and currently owns the latest completion of this masterpiece. He couldn't wait for 2 more completions. He is the 67th completion. What's up, Big O?
Hey, what's up there, Roy? By the way, you're jumping the gun a little bit. It's actually almost the 1-year anniversary of this game. Yeah, it came out last August 21. So it's not that old. I mean, you know.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You jumped the gun a little bit.
I was looking at my notes for next year's. I was looking at
there you go. Next year.
I was looking at the 3rd annual Mayhem Brawler newer segment. So that's my mistake. I will flip over to the correct one. Okay, we're there. Okay.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, there you go.
Just like old time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you kind of hit me up out of nowhere on this one, and I was enthralled. I was enthralled. I was like, wow, I told y'all to play this like two, at least two. Well, maybe
stop it.
What, a year ago? I told y'all a year ago to play this.
It was 40 episodes ago. It was level 160. I went back and listened to you. It was your first 1 list, 2 list with Inigo, actually.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't realize that. So that's
and it was yeah. And I really enjoyed this game, and I remember you talking about it. And you're all into the beat 'em up leaderboards now, so I wanted to talk to you about this one.
Absolutely, I'm I think number 6 or 7 right now. So
in
it's
Tennessee
getting a little
or everywhere.
And everywhere. And,
really?
I just counted by gamer score. So I'm 6th in I don't know what I am by TA, but by gamer score I'm 6th in the world right now. So the air's getting a little thin up there. It's hard to pass people. So I got a few planned out. Kind of been catering my RTDL towards that. And so
I mean, I know a guy that's got some your favorite 200 pointers if you ever need. You know.
I actually bought a couple of those. I couldn't believe myself.
Really?
But I viewed it as those other 5 people had that unfair advantage ahead of me. So I was like, I got to play these fake games and catch up. So so actually, the final, I think the final fight special or something was one of them actually. So they were on sale recently. So there you go. And then some other ones, but I can't even remember the name of it. So yeah. So why did you finally decide to join the movement?
You'll never guess.
We're few in number. Oh man.
You
were just going through old episodes and you just wanted to hear Inigo's sweet, sweet voice, and then you're like, oh, what is that? Oh yeah, Mayhem, and yeah, it's been 2 years. Okay.
No, I was actually going through old episodes of our initial venture, the RTDL segments on Z to Z, yeah. And no, what actually happened was this game showed up on my random to-do list, so that got me to play it. Come on, you knew the answer to that, Roy. I mean, that's always what happens with me.
So you just added it to your tag, or
I added it to my collection, and it showed up.
Oh, okay.
And now on the random to-do list, when you complete a game, there's some incentive, because if you get 4 completions, you earn a free reroll. So there's incentive
I did not know that.
Yeah. So there's incentive to not only get the achievement you need, but if you complete a game, you get extra incentives.
I like that change. I think I've been using it for that as well. I think I've already got 4 completions off it. So there you go. I can get some of this crap off my list. So that.
And I use Scavenger, so I didn't know exactly what achievement I was going for, which actually is better, because if I knew what it was, I'd probably go for that and just stop. But then this made me complete the whole game.
Oh, which one did it turn out being?
I think I remember that. Come on.
Well, you didn't stop. You just kept going.
I just kept going.
You're not even curious which one it was?
I looked at my list wrong, first of all. I thought it was something that it wasn't.
Are you gonna make me look this up for you?
I'm trying to look it up, but I'm having issues at the moment.
Well, while you look that up, I must say that I played it a long time ago. So upon release, basically, it came out on August 18th, but we were Hero Concept was kind enough to send us a review copy of it.
Yes.
And so I actually finished it on the 14th of August, 4 days before it came out officially. And I was actually the second person to complete this game. So
yeah, you were.
I do like Hero Concept. They have a couple other games, the Doling Adventures. I like the first one. Hated the second one, but the first one was awesome. Yeah, the first one is kind of a backhanded compliment. Yeah. So yeah, the first one was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Doling's Arcade, right?
Yeah, it was Dolan's Arcade, and there's several achievements in there. It was kind of new for me back then because when I first played that, I don't think I had any achievements that I was the first person ever to get the achievement. And so I'm particularly proud that I have the first of all the Smash ones. So if you remember, I don't even know when it was, but way back when I did talk about this game. I think it was maybe a VSS. I don't remember, but I did propose a sequel would be called Super Smash, Brother, because there's a character called Smash. there's a character called Smash who deserves a spinoff. Honestly, I mean, but I have most of his achievements, and I was the first to knock those out. And most of those involve biceps in the art. So all in all, it was just a good match for me. So that was what I remember Hero Concept, and I'll forgive them for the second outing of that. Did you try any of the Doling games by chance?
Unfortunately, I have not. I might have to add it to my game collection.
Just add the first one, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know if you had an eagle eye when playing Mayhem Brawler, but there's actually some Easter eggs with that stuff. There was a Dolan's Arcade.
I did not notice it.
Yeah, there was a Dolan's Arcade game in one of the levels, like a stand-up arcade game.
Oh, I did not notice that.
And the character even says, "Yeah, I beat this game." Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, in the time that it took me to tell about Dolan's Arcade, I found out that you got it for the Powerhouse.
Yes.
Which is completing 7 different levels with Dolphin, which I mean, the guy looks like the same skin color as a dolphin. I don't want to profile the guy, but
I know you enjoy not knowing the character's name, but yes, he was the big guy. He was like a wrestler.
Yeah, he's the one I played with first. I was playing with the Jack dude first. And,
so he was reminiscent of Final Fight's Hagar. And
for sure.
So you can walk up to the guy, grab him, and then you jump, and you can do a pile driver, you can do suplexes, you can do drop kicks, elbow drops. He was exactly Hagar, which is awesome. And then the other two characters were Trouble, a.k.a. Mustache, as you'd like to call him.
Yeah.
And then there was Star, a.k.a. the chick. So
yes, I do believe those were the names.
And they reminded me of Streets of Rage characters, Axel and Blaze. So this game had some excellent pedigree that they were, we'll say, borrowing from. And it was a great time.
Yeah, I mean, the game has changed a lot since the last time I played it. So, so if you had not contacted me about this, I would have never known about that. So I did look at I had my notes on it when I talked about it a long time ago, and then I got the notes from this time. When I played it first, it was listed as a 6 to 8 hour completion. Now it's down to a 3 to 4 hour completion. I think the guides have helped.
I don't know why.
Yeah, those guides.
You play through it 3 times with the 3 different characters.
Those guides, like there was no guides when I went.
But you don't need guides. All right. Well, maybe you need guides.
Confusing on it. There's confusing on a couple of those. Like you didn't know. There's a couple of achievements where you have to take certain paths, and so you had to kind of figure out. Oh yeah, that's right. There's none of those. What magical enemies on this stage? So I gotta go this way.
Spellcasters.
Yeah. So there's a couple of achievements where your path has to go certain ways, and then there's there's just a couple of random things. Like it took me forever. Actually, the last one that I got was for blocking 3 catch attacks. I had no idea what they were talking about with that, and I finally figured it out on my own. And now there's just a guy that's just like, oh yeah, just let the werewolves do something and
yeah,
block them. I thought you actually had to like catch a weapon or something.
Which is funny because did you ever make use of the block button? Because I sure didn't.
Yeah, I did not. I didn't block a dang thing. I just walked down and up to avoid attacks, and the typical beat 'em up avoiding stuff. So, but yeah, so it's 34-hour completion. It was $20 whole back in the day. Now it's $20 whole, and it was 2400 TA, not 1750, and I did take a special note of this, that it was 26 Chivos, and now it's 26 Chivos. And I actually have a problem with that. I do have a problem with that.
Go ahead.
And I know you know what the problem with that is.
When they have an update.
They had this, they massively updated this game. So for those of you, all of you, of the 393 people who've played Mayhem Brawler Newer, of all of you that played the old school version, which I don't know exactly. I think it came out recently, like in April, maybe. I knew the answer to that question not too long ago, but they basically did a massive update for it, and they February,
February
2022. Yeah, so they updated the game in February. So I'm not sure exactly how many of those completions that entails, but so in February it came out, and usually when you produce like a very significant update, which it wasn't just like they fixed a couple of crashes or anything. They added a whole freaking character here. So they just like, hey, you know what? We have 3 characters. We're going to add a 4th one. We're not going to update any of the art in the game to include this 4th character, but we are going to include a 4th character. And so usually when games do that, there's DLC. And so you get an extra 250 points. And it would have been awesome because I would have been excited to go back and play this again with, the new character. And they took that from me, man. They did. Where's this DLC? What's this? Just auto update, keep all the Chivos the same. I don't know, man. That was very disappointing. So no DLC. Do you have any insight as to why they possibly did not add any points to this game?
No, and I don't get it either. But this game did help me learn what a lycanthrope is. I believe it's
that's a werewolf that does something, right? Or like
someone that transforms into a wolf, maybe.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if someone's afraid of them, or I guess that would be lycanthropia or something. Yeah.
So with the update added, they added a 4th character, She-Wolf.
Yep.
And also the ability to play 4 players, because you could only play 3 players. Unfortunately, it's only local. But you could play 4-player co-op, which is reminiscent of the old arcade games like TMNT, Simpsons, X-Men, like the classic. Yeah. So that's
absolutely
cool. I do have a bone to pick with Hero Concept, and that in some games when you press A on the second controller, it says, please pick your profile, but in this game, it does not. So only the hosts can get achievements, which is not great. So some games, everyone can get them. The other thing the update added was level select. So
what is that handy for? I guess for some of those miscellaneous ones?
It was handy. Well, for me, remember the perfect achievement for going through without... So I tried it on the first level, and it did not pop for me. So the other level the other level that people used was on level 7. One of the graveyards were these Walking Dead zombies, and they walk very slowly. You could easily just stand back and attack them. They don't really get you. And aside from the little werewolves, it's not that hard. So that one took me a few tries, but that's where I got it from. And yeah, that's where it's really handy for. If you didn't, and also it would be handy for picking stage 3 and then doing the other path. So it would help with the pathing things also. And then another thing they did that you probably were not privy to was in the arcade mode. The arcade mode goes through the whole game, and you have 7 lives.
Right.
It looks like they included the cutscenes in the original thing, but they took them out afterward, so you didn't have to sit through all the dialogue. You just go right to the action. And they also put a timer. It took me about 45 minutes to get that done. And I sent you a video in which I had almost a calamity. I actually lost all.
Was that your last life?
That was my last life. I lost all of my health. I had 0 health, but I was able to get up and get one more punch on the last guy. It was.
You had 11 health.
Oh, did I? My bar was empty.
It was not. It was disappearable. I saw it in the credits.
Oh, really?
In your little thing.
11 health.
You had
whatever
11
that
health.
means.
Yes, that means you were not dead. 11 is more than 0. That's why I sent you that.
I was alive.
Yes.
I was alive. Yes, I would have had to do that again. But
so,
I have some questions, though. I have some questions.
Oh, I got some questions for you. Let me get this one first,
because
this one's kind of timely because you mentioned level 7 is the one that you got the perfect score on. Mm-hmm. But if you go click on compare, so if I compared my game progress with your game progress, it shows scores for all the levels, and it's, from my understanding, you were describing level 7 Land of the Dead. But if you look at your score on it, if you, that's the one stage. Yeah, that's the one stage you have a 0 score on.
Well, I shouldn't have a 0, but you have to do all 3 of them to get all the endings.
Well, that's kind of what I was wondering. I was wondering how you had a 0 for level 7.
I just suck.
I mean, it's kind of.
I'm a pacifist. What can I tell you?
Yeah, it was just unusual. It was definitely an outlier, especially since you mentioned it by name. That that was the one I perfected. Did you know? I was just curious if you had put a second player in or something, and hid your main profile in the corner, and then let the main. I didn't know if that's even works or not.
I did not have to try any chicanery like that. And do you know why? There's one thing you didn't really mention in your 1 list, 2 list of why the list is so great.
Easy.
Well, there's 4 difficulty levels, and they don't make you play on the harder one.
Oh yeah,
that's the big thing.
Annoying. That is annoying when they.
I meant to try it on a harder difficulty to see how badly I would get my ass kicked, but I didn't.
I mean, you were down to 11 health on
that was
lowest.
On the lowest. I think it's called Cadet. Something like that. Yeah. So maybe I was taking it.
Those floor cleaners just had their way with you, man.
Yeah, they did.
Anybody that hadn't seen this clip should go check it out. And,
I'll have to show it. Yeah.
It's hard to watch, but yes, it's like, why do he keeps walking into those floor cleaners? The floors are super clean, though. I assume those are floor cleaners. I don't know. They look like baby Zambonis. I don't know.
Roombas. Oh wait.
It's like a Roomba and a Zamboni had a little illegitimate floor cleaning child, and that floor child took its rage out on you. Rumoni.
A Rumoni. Well.
Yeah. So there you go. That was my first question. What you got?
I don't know if you remember this or not, but when you would fight the enemies, sometimes you would see little symbols on them, like a rubber ducky or a fist or a shield. Was that supposed to telegraph a move or something? I had no idea what that was.
Yeah, so I did set up a few notes on things that I don't remember being in the game, and so the symbols, the only one I remembered was the health sign. And so the health sign, I know what that means. That means they're about to do an attack that drains or refills their health. So that was the werewolves.
Yes.
So as soon as you saw the little plus sign, that means they're going to get up and lunge at you. And then if they latch onto you, then that's going to fill up their health and deplete yours. And I think there's some vampires that probably do that too, if I remember right. But that's what that was. But the rubber ducky, and then there was a blood drop
bolt or a shield. Oh yeah, blood drop.
Yeah, and I saw that, and I was like, I don't remember there being all these. And then there's also there. I don't remember there was on stage 2 an old lady just randomly appears at the bottom of the screen and starts giving advice on how to play the game and saying, and she like, it's like, oh, by the way, there's symbols over their heads, and if you and I didn't really catch any of the rest of it, so I think she explains
she
it.
She must.
Yeah, so I kind of I just have the habit of not paying attention to stuff like that, and so, but I did hear her say something about how she was trying to provide some instruction on how to play the game, and I thought, well, that's unusual for stage 2, given that I just finished the first stage, and so I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't remember what the rubber ducky meant, and
to take a bath,
and it seemed like everyone, it seemed like everyone had the rubber ducky over their head. I was just like they really used that, So I kept thinking they're gonna throw one at me, or I don't know. So, and speaking of which, I don't remember. Here's a couple other things I don't remember, like just funny video game stuff. Video games are fun, and you, in the sense that they're funny, and so you like punch some dude, like he just all of a sudden comes and he's like, he just wants to fight you, right? Because you're to beat him up, and so you hit him. And he dropped like a perfect hot dog. So this hot dog was like in mint condition. It was in like the plate and everything. He dropped a perfect hot dog. And so it made me think about what his backstory was. Like, was he at the hot dog bar right before he saw me? And he's like, oh, I'm going to go, but he didn't even take a bite out of it. Like, it was a perfect hot dog. So I thought that was funny. And then also the way that the pixels are set up, when you shoot, like you shoot at the head level. And so, like, you can literally shoot somebody right in the face, and they just get right back up and shake it off. And I'm just like, dang, man.
That's video games for you.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's pretty obvious where you shoot them because of the way it's like goes right in their face. And, like, you could be like point blank, shoot them in the face, and they just stand right back up. But yeah, and then the other two things where I don't remember. Shane Nato, that's a hell of a name, man. The first boss is named Shane Nato. I have no idea that was his name. And then the last thing I don't remember was in the cutscenes, they added some social media crap to it. I don't know. Before I just think it was like more comic booky, and it wasn't like all this. Like, it looked like a running social media page on the side, and I don't know what the point of all that was. I didn't read it, but
basically she would, whatever the first thing she said in the cutscene, she would say hashtag whatever or at whatever, and then the people on the right would be responding to it, which is nothing to do with what the other characters were saying in the comic strip. Which, of course, if we didn't mention, there is a comic book vibe to this game as well. Every time
I don't think we mentioned that at all.
Every time you beat a level, you basically choose different comic book cover art. You'll see issue 2 as opposed to level 2. And you can choose which path you want to go. And our friend Star looks suspiciously like an invisible woman whose name you forget from the Fantastic Four.
Invisible Girl.
Oh, yes.
That's not it?
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And then Mustache. I guess that's kind of like Wolverine.
Oh, maybe like Logan. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Wolverine's got those big old, lamb chop sideburns, and his special is he just like you've seen someone get shanked in prison with a little something. He does that with his hands. I don't know. He's like like right into the chest region, and of course they get back up too. But he stabs him repeatedly in the chest with his, like, I don't know. Does he have like claws? I guess he has kind of claws. I'm not really sure, to be honest. I think that was his weapon. I'm not sure if there was something. I know it was his hands, but I don't know if it was like his claws are always like that.
I'm trying to remember. I played with him first, so the least memory of it. Yeah. Was it
the mustache? Was it the sunglasses, or was it the sideburns that sold you on him first?
Or is the answer yes? It was. Is that he was the player on the left on the selection screen, so I went in order.
Okay.
That's what's told.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So
he's trouble.
Yeah.
He's nothing but trouble. Nothing but trouble.
Yeah. That mustache is trouble for the ladies. Now, the new character, I did notice, because obviously I've played it before, And so I fired it up, and I was like, well, I got to try out the new character, which was very disappointing, might I add.
Aww.
But yeah, I was not impressed. And so
I think she was one of the mini bosses, or one of the bosses.
Yeah, well, no, that's the main boss. The
main
second,
boss. Okay,
she's actually the boss of the second stage. And so when I fired it up the game, she was silhouetted out. And so my question is, was she like that for you when you first started the game?
Yes, you had to beat the game once first, I believe.
Okay, so I got all the way to I had my save from my previous runs on there, and so I loaded up level 14 first, which was like the end of the game. It was my last save, and I went to character select, and she was shadowed out. But then I went and started a new game, played through level 1, played through level 2, where she makes an appearance, and then at the end you have the option. There's an illusion of choice in this game, so you can accept her help or refuse it.
Yeah.
I don't know what happens if you refuse it. If you refuse it, I don't know if she becomes playable or not.
Interesting.
But
maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. And so once you accept it, that's what I did because I didn't want to have to do that again. Then she becomes a choosable character. And so I actually closed out of that game because I started with her in level 3 and then I just quit out after playing with her for about 5 disappointing minutes. And then I loaded up my level 14 save, and she was selectable then. So it's like you don't have to actually beat it when you get her. You just have to accept her help, I guess, in level 2, and then she's available wherever. And I was just curious how that even makes sense when you play a fresh game. Can you choose her to start a new game? I think I chose. Yeah, I did do that. Yeah, you can. And so does she fight herself?
I don't know. I never tried. Never tried.
Yeah, I never tried fighting her with herself, but I don't know. It just seems like that'd be kind of weird, like how they would explain that in their little pop-up dialogue that makes
Yeah, maybe she'll teach you how to use the symbols,
right.
or how to block. Well, no, they teach you how to block right away, and then you just ignore it.
You can block. Yeah, stage 8. Oh, by the way, did you know you can block? We've been noticing you have not blocked the entire game. So.
The one gameplay thing that they did that I liked. So if you remember, if you ever played Final Fight or Streets of Rage, whenever you pressed the special attack, it would actually drain a little of your health. I guess they did that.
Yeah,
they wanted your quarters for Final Fight for sure. But in this game, they had a special meter. I think you got 3 of them, and then they would refill over time. So they did it that way. So you couldn't spam it, but you could use it fairly frequently and not lose any health about it. So that was cool. And there was and
the
Y attack,
pretty often.
Forward and Y attack, and then a jumping Y attack, which I actually did use all of those. Those were helpful. Whenever you're surrounded, use those Y attacks.
Crowd control for sure.
Yes.
And then with the special also is one thing I thought was kind of cool is that each one had 2 specials actually, because you had the one when your direction towards the person and it does one thing, and then there's the second one that's again more crowd control. You got people around you and you get out of there. You hit the special and they hit people on both sides, and then you get a chance to get out of there. So I liked using that to get out of trouble.
Right,
so.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, you hit Y alone, and then it hits on both sides, and then you hit forward. It's more directed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you jump
for sure.
Which is the flying attack for Star. I remember that. Yeah, it's got a decent amount of moves. Yeah.
For sure, yeah, it was well thought out, I thought, and it was, and as you know from, was it 40 episodes ago, they had a very good list. I talked very nicely about the list, about how the list makes you play through the game. However, that's a little asterisked now in the sense that there's absolutely zero incentive to use the new chick because there's no achievements tied to her because she didn't exist when they made the list and they did not add any DLC. So you still got to just use the chick, the dolphin and the mustache. So
all right, well, I plan on sending this segment to Hero Concept and asking them, and maybe we'll get an answer from them. And they're in Turkey. They're in the country of Turkey, actually. So they're from a little ways away, but they definitely got
for sure.
They definitely got a pretty good translation, I will say. some fun voice acting. A lot of times you see a lot of grammar and spelling mistakes. There's none of that. So, I appreciate that. I notice these things, as you well know.
Right? Yeah. No dessert possums.
No dessert.
Or anything like
nothing like that.
That's good. So, yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I was looking on their website and did you see that they were at the Turkey's Crystal Pixel Video Game Awards?
Totally saw that. No, I did not.
For real? Yeah,
No,
I was doing a little research. So props to Hero Concept because, you don't just luck your way into the Crystal Pixel Video Game Awards in Turkey. And they were up for a lot of awards, and they won, for 2021, they won Best Visual Design, Best Console Game, Best PC Game, and Game of the Year.
All
They're
right.
the GOTY, man. They got the GOTY 2021 in Turkey's Crystal Pixel Video Game Awards conference.
For Mayhem Brawler?
Newer, yep.
That's great.
So there's a picture of them on stage accepting the award on their website. It's the second little news and announcements. They won it on March 7th, actually. The spoiler alert, the guy holding up the award doesn't look like Dolphin or Mustache. He looks like one of their sad dads. Oh. It's like one of their sad dads.
Yeah.
That's kind of let himself go. Maybe he used to.
Grandpa Mustache. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some epic hair, though.
It's just mustache. The mustache palette swap, but it's a gray mustache. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
He's got mustaches coming off the back of his head. But yeah, there's looks like there's 5 of them maybe, and so props to them. But I don't know who they were up against. I tried finding out who they were up against, and it was all in Turkish, so I was unable to tell you. So anyhow. Other than that, I did want to point out one other thing, which is that if you, for whatever reason, missed the boat on Mayhem Brawler Newer, that if they delisted it tomorrow, I have some good news. They're coming out with a physical edition of the game.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's the good news. The bad news is that it's only for the PS4 and Switch. So there's that. Now, other than that, I had a couple of real quick Mayhem trivia for you, very quick. So here you go. I always like to throw a few questions at you. So you noticed that you took about a little bit longer than the most to finish the game. In fact, I finished it in 6 hours and 30 minutes without a guide on a 3 to 4 hour completion. You finished 12 hours and 49 minutes. So my first question is to you is, of the 67 completions, do you have any idea where you rank in terms of the slowest?
I'll assume that I am the slowest. And it's I don't know why it does that. I assume it's idling or sitting in quick resume. I have no idea. We'll just say I'm really bad. That's fine.
No, it's you're
I like
actually
it. I'm gonna put the game on and play some more.
Yeah, you're not in terrible company. You're actually 6 from the bottom. So you were the 6th
from the bottom.
Slowest.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. So there's some dude, Oddball BG, that had it on for 61 hours. So you got some work to do if you want to beat that.
Oh, all right.
Otherwise, yeah, the other ones are a little easier, but 61 hours and 44 minutes.
So I could have gone to 69th place and played for 69 hours. Is what you're saying?
You could have if you just been a little more patient. Yeah, I know it. But and there you go. And then let's see, how many other games on TA have Mayhem in the title? I was just curious if you knew any of them. Any games?
Can't think of
other
any
games with Mayhem.
Nope.
I would have only been able to name one on my own.
Devil May Cry. Yeah. Nope. Any obvious ones?
The only one that there's one that I knew, which was Bike Mayhem. It's a game that people play for god awful contests. It's got good TAD on it, but it's preloadable. But the other ones are Agents of Mayhem.
Oh yes, that one was obvious.
Yeah, and then Mayhem 3D. I never heard of that. And then the other ones are a little more disguised. State of Anarchy, Masters of Mayhem, The Addams Family, Mansion Mayhem, and Worms, Ultimate Mayhem. So there you go. And then one last question, because this only comes around once a year. Remembering
the second anniversary.
Second anniversary.
Yes,
remembering Mayhem Brawler.
Yes.
So I got a whole year before I get to ask you Mayhem questions again. So how many commercials featuring Mayhem has Allstate ran?
7.
Oh, you're very close. There was 40 of those.
Oh,
yes.
All right. Knew it.
40 of those. Yeah, those are great commercials, by the way. Ironically, 6 of those have been too violent to show, according to them. So I guess they haven't shown 6 of those on television because they're too violent. I don't know why. So there you go. Have to look up the band Mayhem All-Star commercials. So, I can't think of any better way to wrap up Mayhem Brawler newer second year anniversary 1 year ahead of schedule. Remembering Mayhem Brawler. So, Mr. Big L, I'm so glad that you decided to take part in the Mayhem Brawler life. And
I do recommend it. Next time, I would say next time it goes on sale, I would say.
Oh, you don't think it's worth the $20?
Sure. If there's a physical edition for Xbox that comes with like mustache stickers or something.
Yeah. That's I see that you have rated it.
I should rate it
a 5 then.
Yeah, I'll do that right now.
Yeah, I rated it a 5. So
absolutely.
It's currently sitting at a 3.82. So yes.
Yeah, because it's great.
It is. It's a great game. So seriously though,
rated
people
great.
like this is another Wonder Blade situation. Even though this is not Castle Crashers, but this is
way better.
This is a final fight basically, and it's Streets of Rage all in one, and it does a really good job, and it's 3 to 4 hour.
It's very
completion. Good. Yeah, you'd enjoy it. So we should.
Yeah, if you want to hear us talk about any other beat 'em up games, I would like to continue doing this. And there's some questionable ones on TA, like Batman Arkham Asylum. Yeah, not a beat 'em up game. Even though you do beat people up, yes, but you probably do that in majority of games.
So I'd be so for having those removed from the beat 'em up genre because those show up on my freaking RTDL every freaking month. I can count on it being there, and I'm not going to play it. And I don't know why I keep leaving it on there, but
I know you don't play good games. We know.
Man, it's like each one of those has like 1,000 collectibles, but yeah, that's I don't know. I just can't do it.
Anyway,
so
any recommendations? Again, let us know.
Yes, and thanks for listening. We'll see y'all next year for Mayhem Brawler. Remembering Mayhem Brawler. Y'all take care.
Well, right. Goodbye, everyone.